Welcome, citizen, to another StarCraft Nation broadcast. This is your host, Venerati. Today, I'm going to be covering, once again, the North American Weekly. This is going to be basically the highlight match for the Gold and Platinum winner. Now, of course, I'm not going to let the cat out of the bag this time, as I did last time. Kind of mix it up a little bit, you know. But we are going to be playing on Blistering Sands today, and we're going to see Ironsites spawning as the Blue Zerg, and he will be going up against the Teal Protoss Scythe. So we're going to see some ZVP here on a relatively small map, but this map, for its size, has I really like the expansions out here, as there's nothing really in the way, as this main walkway is generally the main path the armies take. And really depends on what they build and what they go for, but you kind of have to purposefully go over here and say, hey, you know, is there anyone over there? So you really makes you use the scouting abilities, and if you don't, you're really letting yourself down. As we see in this, we do have Scythe scouting out here with his probe, is going to be running behind the mineral line here and seeing if there's any spawning pool going down, but it looks like Ironsites is either going to go for a late pool hatch, as we do see the spawning pool coming down here at 14, and I would think that we're going to see a hatch coming down as well, as this on this map, this expansion right here is so easily defended because of this choke point. However, the map kind of balances things out by leaving this back door here, which, if it's not defended or at least observed, can really put you in a bad spot in a really quickly. You can be going from fighting him here, and he backs off. You're like, yeah, you know, fended him off. He's licking his wounds, and all of a sudden he's rampaging and tearing your main apart, and you have, you know, you might even beat his army, but you have no production facility now, and you have to counterattack and, well, hope that you win then, or else you're going to be in really bad position. As we do see the spawning pool finishing up for Ironsites, but we don't see a hatch coming down yet, so not really sure what exactly he'll be going for. But as for Scythe has chosen to try to create a tiny little door right here so that no pesky Zerglings can run by, so he can place a single Zealot here if he so chooses. But it looks like he's going to be waiting for the Cybernetics Core to finish up, and he will be getting a Stalker there. So the Stalker will equally be able to block this way right here. And not only that, but he has a range attack, so he can shoot the ramp and basically keep anyone from loitering. But we do actually see the Zealot coming online for him. And we do see the second assimilator coming, so we are going to be seeing a lot of Vespene going to be utilized by Scythe, as his build would say. And we have the pylon, this backdoor pylon. So great move by Scythe here, utilizing this pylon as an observer, basically. So $100, and his backdoor is now at least watched, if not protected. So if he's, you know, if he leaves his army right around here, as what a lot of people do, or if he leaves it here, he'll either be able to walk it around here and force the army to engage. So really give himself a good position here, especially if he feels confident in his army size, or come up here and just try to make him go away and look intimidating if his army size isn't so much in the way of being in the positive. So we do have Ironsight sitting here with his Overlord, just kind of loitering in the main base, checking what's going on, as we do have a second gateway coming on for Scythe, and a Robo is just being dropped down there. So we're going to see a two-gate Robo here, and I'm not sure if he's going to be pumping out the regular old Immortal with the Zealot and Stalker push, or whatever. I mean, he could really roll off a lot of things. He could be bringing out a Colossus, which Colossus are so great in killing a lot of those really early light units, especially with the thermal upgrade. So back to Ironsites, we do see Ironsites transferring a few drones over here. Not really sure about that, as this is nowhere close to being populated fully, at least. And we do see Zergling speed coming on for Ironsites. So Ironsites is going to be utilizing his Zerglings, and will be just basically tearing you know what around the map here, as we do have a loitering drone. So that drone decided to just kind of slack off there, and it's not really good to have slacking drones, as you really need them to collect minerals. So he fixes that in a hurry, and we do see a spine crawler coming down here. And as far as, we don't have the creep spreading out here, but this positioning is good, as it does help protect this ramp, as he is also blocking his ramp right here with these units, which is good stuff. But I personally, I would push them up here and even try to bring them up in this range as you want to engage the units, the enemy units in this tiny little gap and allow them the least amount of coverage so that they can basically just kind of choke down the DPS of that army, especially if it's of a larger size. That's really the area that you're going to want to engage. And right now, take a peek at the units tab. We do have 1 Immortal on the field for Scythe, as well as 2 Zealots and 2 Stalkers, to the 5 Roaches and 2 Zerglings of Ironsites. So Ironsites is lacking in the army buildup right now. Let's go ahead and take a look at the income, as we do have Scythe in the lead as far as Harvesters, which just got... Basically, Ironsites almost caught himself completely up with that last load of drones. So, evenly matched, but Ironsites is on 2 bases right now and will be able to populate both of those quicker than Scythe, unless Scythe just sits there and completely oversaturates this main mineral line here. But I don't really see that happening, so we're going to see them even up here, and basically Scythe is just pulling out a little bit more Vespine, and Ironsites is pulling a little bit more minerals. So we're going to go ahead and take a look at the income tab. And we can take a look at the production tab, as we do see 1 more Immortal finishing up, and we see melee attack 1 coming up for Ironsides. So Ironsides is going to be... I'm surprised he doesn't have more Zerglings on the field, considering that he's gotten the upgrades for them. So not sure if he's still got the new car smell on the Roaches and just really likes to use them as they have been upgraded ever so slightly with the attack range +1 to them from the last patch. And really want to make a real quick note of Ironsight's deployment of his Overlords, making a nice little picket screen of his outer base, and basically getting complete coverage on his side of the map with all of these Overlords, and using the Zergling to occupy the Zelnaga Tower is a great use of the Zergling. As the Zergling only costs 25 minerals, so if he gets popped, who cares? I mean, you've got a lot more minerals where that came from most of the time. And we do see the Observer kind of poking around the outer edges of the base, trying to figure out what exactly is going on for Ironsides. But this Observer is really not in any sort of danger of being shot down, unless we do see Ironsides bring up the Queen with a Overseer. But there is no Overseer on the field for Ironsides, so that Observer is going to be able to basically scout with impunity. Take a look at the Army tab real quick. The Army tab, well, we're pretty close as far as the supply count goes, as Scythe and Ironsides are sticking around the 60s right now. And both, real quick note, both economies are kind of sagging right now, as we don't see really good saturation of either mineral line for Scythe and Ironsides. So Ironsides main does have pretty good saturation here. And really want to make note of this Spore Crawler. Great use of the Spore Crawler here. Just kind of stick it in there as a proxy defense for any sort of DT proxy drop or anything of that nature. So he won't have to worry about any sort of detection in his mineral line. Of course, now he will have to worry about the rest of it, as this only covers about, where his main buildings are. But also, if there's any sort of scout, or not scout, but Phoenix threat, as they would run in here and start lifting all these drones and sniping them, or the Queens as well, as the Queens are pretty much the only thing other than this Spore Crawler that can shoot the air units. And we do actually see an Overseer coming online, so Ironsides will have pretty much full coverage all over the field, as Scythe spots the destruction of these rocks by Ironsides. So Ironsides is looking to bring the high yield expansion online, but we do see Scythe moving out and is basically going to try to rain on that parade, as he does have a Colossus up and running around, and we are going to see Thermal Lance almost done. So Ironsides sees this army moving out with all of these Overlords. This Overlord is going to die, as well as the Zergling is going to die, but it tries to run at the Colossus. And this army is really not in a good position, as it's kind of stuck out in the open. Is going to try to run away, but he chooses to engage after all. Not really good. I would have done everything I possibly could to kept this guy away, especially if he had ran over here and Scythe had kind of attack clicked over here. This Colossus would really expose itself to attack, and he might have been able to snipe it, but either way, Scythe takes that army down and is going to go ahead and continue to push in here, as he's going to be killing these creep tumors and receding the Skin Highway, as Ironsides was doing a pretty good job of keeping that moving out. And we do see the Overseer running away from these ranged units, trying desperately to keep his life intact. And we do see Scythe coming up against these static defenses. The Spinecrawlers are definitely trying to kill all these Zealots, as we do see the Mutalisks coming in here too. There are a lot of Mutalisks on the field right now, all of them desperately trying to knock down these Stalkers. in all of these centuries, but we do see more Stalkers making way. And look at this great force field here on this ramp. All of these units here would have been able to really even out the odds right here, but we just see continual force fields. And Ironsites is not able to do anything about it, just leaving his units here as his natural does go down. And all of these drones trying to return back up here, but instead deciding to attack finally. But this Ironsites army was just split in half right here. And this ramp, these guys are just sitting there just totally taking it from this Colossus. Colossus just eating them up. Look at that, 20 kills, 23 kills, 25 kills. And the force fields finally do recede. But Ironsites does not have anything left to pretty much do any sort of damage to this army. And Ironsites really just kind of killed himself there. He could have done a lot to that army, but just kind of sat there and faltered on the ramp, as he should have sacrificed that expansion. And we do see Ironsites go ahead and pretty much admit what I just said. And Scythe go ahead, and Scythe really did do a really good job there of seeing the opportunity and taking advantage of it. And we do see Ironsites tap out, as Scythe will be taking this title, as he does win the gold and platinum gold and platinum tier in the first of the North American Weekly Tournament. So good job by Scythe right there. Just critical play on this ramp. This ramp is really what won the game for Scythe, as Ironsites was not able to deploy his army in its full, as he did have a lot of Mutalisks. You saw almost all of the Stalkers go down. And if the Roaches and Zerglings had been able to add their DPS to the mix, Scythe would have lost his army and possibly would have lost to the counterattack afterwards. So either way, great game by Scythe. Good job by Ironsites, as he did get second place. So congrats to both of them. And as always, citizens, stay safe.